Nerds, Cherry Potter here. Appreciate you guys taking the time to come over to my YouTube channel and showing me the love over here. I adore you. Most of you know that I am a variety streamer on the Facebook side. We do a lot of horror, have some scare alerts. We have our Spooky Sundays, Terror Tuesdays, Wicked Wednesdays, Thick Thigh Thursdays. Thick Thigh Thursday, we run some Call of Duty. And then we have our Fear Factor Fridays, where I eat some bugs. But that is besides the point. We are over here on YouTube right now, so I can help some of my wonderful, wonderful, wonderful nerdy streaming friends that have reached out and asked for help. So a lot of you kind of ask questions in regards to the overlays and graphics, and that's what I hope this video can help you guys with. So I hope you enjoy. We're gonna pop over, we're gonna make it fairly quick. It's gonna be pretty basic, but I know once I learned the basics, it opened up the doors for opportunities. So we're gonna pop over to the intro scene, which I personally use on Facebook. I don't know if everyone else does, but again, we're just gonna make it short and sweet and simple, and I will see you guys over there. But yeah, I'm just going to show you something very simple, very basic. I'm going to add an image. We're just going to make sure we rename it. I'm going to name it to my background because I'm going to know that that is going to be my background image. I like to make sure I have all of the images unloaded or anything unloaded when it's not showing. So let's go here, find our background image. And this is just like a trick that I want to show you guys. So we're just going to use this. Now we're going to add the camera. Hello, hello, hello. Move that. And those of you that don't know, if you hit Alt before you do and move this, that's basically the cropping tool, Alt. So we can go ahead and crop this up a little bit. Just get rid of some of that excess. Now you can resize it. There you go. Still covers the loading. No one's ever going to know. That's pretty basic. You can also go ahead and add a camera overlay. So we'll go ahead and do that right now as well. Cam overlay is what we're going to title it. Add a source. Unload when it's not showing. We'll go ahead and use this one. Stretch it. Stretch it to size. And if you didn't know, which I only recently learned, if you hit the shift instead of the alt, the shift basically just lets you stretch it. So there you go. Plain and simple. That could be a little like, hello, I'm here guys. Now we're going to get started type of scene. And speaking of getting started, I will see you guys on the startup scene and show you how to do that. All right, here we are on the startup scene. There's a lot of things that you can do. Again, I'm just going to keep this fairly simple. So I have some of these. We'll just put the start up video. Go ahead and add a media source because what I'm going to be using is going to be a video. But if you don't have a video and it's just a static image, you would just want to make sure that you added image. So we'll go ahead. We'll use this pixel overlay. Nope, I don't have a startup there. So we will use this witchy purple startup one. Go ahead, apply that. You want it to loop so it continuously does the animation. Use the hardware decoding when available and close the file when it is inactive. So there you go. You could do something just as basic as that. I personally like to make sure that I add the alert box as well. So we're going to go ahead and add that. You can test it. Test it, see how big you want it, how small you want it, where you want to put it. Bam, and there you go. You have a pretty basic startup scene. You can add some music, you can add lots of custom graphics, all that stuff that you want, but that is just a bare minimum basic how to do a basic startup scene. So I hope that helped you guys. All right, I already added my razor ripsaw over the display capture. I'm just gonna move it down a layer so you can see that that is all that I added. I personally use the razor ripsaw. I know a lot of people use the Elgato. I'm a fan of the ripsaw. So once you add that, and you would do that also by adding a video capture device, but I feel like we know that part at least. All right, so I've got that added. Now you would just want to make sure you add your camera if you want to add a camera. So again, we'll go ahead and do that. We will size it down. move it where you want. You can crop it by hitting that Alt button again. So we're going to go ahead and crop that. There's just some background stuff that I don't care to have. Go ahead and do that and do that, and bam, there you go. And then we can go ahead and add that camera overlay, which was a static image. Go ahead and add that there. Oops. Move it, size it. Again, that shift button is definitely a good one. I'm going to use the Alt and crop my camera. There we have that. So I like to compress things down. So I'm just going to put this as, as camera. Go ahead and add that folder there. Then we will put our camera in there and our overlay. And now this lets you, oh, not now. Now when you grab the whole file, it lets you move it as a whole instead of an individual. So you can just hit, it's supposed to say camera, I left off the A, but you can hit that and move it around, stretch it, stretches together, all of that fun stuff. So you can go ahead and move that where you want. Then we can add some fun things. I don't know if you guys know about the stream labels. You always want to make sure you add your alert box. So we'll go ahead and add that before we forget. Test it if you want to see how big it's going to be, where you want to move it. When you got things where you like, I always like to lock them into place. Lock them into place. And that would be a pretty basic like setup where you have your camera, your ripsaw or Elgato or whatever capture card it is that you're using, and your alerts. So we're just going to go on ahead so I don't take up too much time, and we're going to go to the intermission scene now. All right, for this intermission scene, we are going to go ahead and add, it's a static image that I'm using, so we'll just put intermission overlay. Go ahead and grab that graphic. We will go with, this one. So I will personally transform this to fit the screen. There we have that. Obviously we want to add our camera. Depends on how you use your intermission scene. I pretty much use mine for being able to chat with friends outside of the gaming aspect. So my game is the smaller box. So we're going to move that under it a layer. And while I still have it grabbed, you can resize it. Technically, they're not going to see it behind, so you can choose if you want to actually crop it or not. If you do, remember it's that Alt button before adjusting it. And so now you'll see that it's a lot shorter. You can actually see behind it. So go ahead and get that down. Now we want to make sure that we add our ripsaw. Grab that, move it down a layer, resize it. You can always do the shift as well. It just kind of stretches it. So I personally try to resize it as close to that as I can. But again, I like it to be more me up here and the game down there. So we're going to go with that. You want to add your alert box always. Grab that alert box, test it out, resize it, see where you want to put it. We'll go with that. I want that over top of my intermission overlay. We're good right there. You want to now add your chat box. Grab that. If you need to resize it for the height of your chat box, you'd always do that right here. I'm just going to keep it pretty simple. Resize it down. We're just going to leave it like that. Actually, let me see. I'm pretty sure we can put this under the overlay and have it just like that. So there you go. We're going to leave that as is. very, very, very pretty basic. Again, like I said, once you get the hang of it, it makes things fairly easy. And lastly would be the stream labels. So you saw those at the bottom of the intermission scene. We're just going to put recent like. You just need to find the one that you're looking for. I'm going to scroll down, find the most recent like. You would change all of this right here. I'm not going to play with that. That'll take too much time. But there's your label, and you can place it here. Stretch it out. There you go. John Samaya was the last person to like, so. All right, we've popped over to the BRB scene, so we're gonna go on ahead and add the little BRB video that I have. I'm just gonna name it BRB, add the source, find the source, go ahead and use this one, loop it, hardware decoding, close when inactive. Got that on there. I like to add a chat box so chat can kind of still be on the scene when I'm gone. I'm just going to add a different chat box source because I don't want to resize that original one. I'm going to make this one a little bit taller so it takes up more of the screen. Oops. All right, here we are. We're just going to add the media source for this. It's going to be a new one. It's not going to be any of those graphics. I'm just going to name it ending. Go ahead and grab that. Find where it's at. We'll use this one. Loop it, hardware decoding, close when inactive. There you guys have it. It was a pretty simple, basic tutorial. I would love to make more content that goes in depth on some things. So if you guys have any suggestions, comments, concerns, anything, please, 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 please drop them below. Lord knows I could use some insight on what you felt about this video. I had a lot of fun doing it. I really like being able to share what I've learned with others, and even though it's just the basics, I know the basics can take you fairly far once you understand it, and I hope this visual helped my nerdy friends. So I'm gonna give you guys some smiles and some sparkle fingers, and I will see you on my next live Thursday when I get unbanned from Facebook. Bye, friends.